What's up? Welcome back, everybody, to the UP. This is episode 2. It's still feeling brand new, but we got a new client on, or not new client. See, look, now I'm fumbling. Jess was all nervous to come on here, and now I'm the one fumbling the ball. But Jess, she has been a client of TNT Athletics since her sophomore year. This is also take 2 because Alex didn't hit record. So now I don't even know what we said and what we didn't say. But she's been a client since sophomore year of college. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we were just talking about the catalyst that sort of, what made you reach out to TNT and why did you start training way back then?
Yeah. Well, I realized that I'd never done a training program ever before in my life, really.
You mean like in college too? Like college?
No, in high school I didn't train at all. Besides like high school weight class or like the, weight room gym class.
Well, you went to Huntley, right?
I went to Huntley. So like our gym class was like weightlifting essentially. But it wasn't like the coaches didn't take it that serious, right? It was all the football coaches, so they didn't really.
Well, it's like 40 minutes, not even 40 minutes because you got the transition between classes.
Exactly.
There's no warm up, there's no nothing. It's just like, are you trying? And then they grade you based on effort.
Yeah, my form was probably terrible.
Probably.
I didn't know. And I was lifting with her name's Allie Andrews. She was my lifting partner. She was the D1 basketball player. She was committed to Illinois. So I was lifting with her. Like, no idea what I was doing.
Did she know what she was doing?
Yeah, she did. Yeah. So she helped me a little bit.
She was in a program somewhere?
I think so. I don't know where, though. She must have been.
So was there something where you felt you were lacking from a conditioning standpoint, from a training standpoint?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I got to get in the weight room, or was it just like, I should do this? Because you were one of the fastest. You're probably the fastest girl that's ever trained at TNT.
Oh, wow. That's
I would guess.
saying a lot, maybe. I mean, so my senior year of high school, I broke the single season stolen base record. 68 bags.
You're so humble. Like, I just said you were probably the fastest girl ever, and then you spit it out like, oh, I just broke a record.
Yeah. I mean, that was cool, but I wasn't even training at that point. So I feel like a part of me was kind of like, I have done if I was actually, that was in high school.
Your senior year.
My senior year, yeah.
So you broke the record your senior year.
Yeah.
What was the old record?
I have no idea, actually. I have no clue. I didn't even know I was really like breaking a record, So
you found out after the season?
I think
it wasn't one of those things where someone's like, if you steal one base this game.
No, I think I like blew it out of the water. So I stole 68 bases, which is a lot we played like 30 games in a season.
What was that compared to conference?
Oh, I don't even know. My memory with high school is really, really bad.
Mine too.
But yeah, so I feel like I realized I could have done probably much more, so much better, if I'd even been training somewhere, because I noticed a huge difference when I started training with you in college. Like, I was just feeling better. I think I even got faster. So yeah.
Well, it's going to naturally happen, right? Your ceiling.
Right.
We were just talking about with someone, with a client the other day, your ceiling is here before you ever start training. And then as you weightlift and you increase strength, you increase power, you increase performance, that ceiling just gets that much higher. So obviously the sport specific needs to go with it as well. You need to practice your skills just as much as you practice in the weight room and work in the weight room. But it's just raising your ceiling. So you went to Parkside.
Right. Yep. So
how'd you decide to go to Parkside?
So yeah, that's one of my favorite stories, I think. Well, it's not my favorite story, but so in high school, right, I peaked really late. So I didn't really meet my full potential until senior year, which at that point, every other kid was already committed, So like D1.
You're saying it from an athletic standpoint.
Yeah, from athletic standpoint. Yeah, I peaked really late.
And if tell me if I'm wrong, but in high school for softball, you guys get recruited so early.
So early. Yeah, it was like
so early.
Freshman, sophomore year, because that was even before they made that rule where the coaches couldn't talk to you until like your junior year or something. So like there was a girl, I think from PR who was maybe my age or a year younger, and she got recruited in like 8th grade to go to like Florida Gulf Coast. Right. So then I'm over here.
I remember seeing that and just being like, what is going on?
Yeah.
How could you possibly know this girl is going to be a player at the Division I level? Mm-hmm. Like it's always been wild. Like softball's always been like that. Is it still like that? Do you pay attention at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're a non-athlete now.
Yeah, I know. I'm washed up now. But yeah, I think it's still pretty much like freshman, sophomore year. They're looking at the kids. So it's a little bit later now, I think. But to be honest, I don't fully know.
More normal now.
Yeah, it could be. But yeah, so I peaked really late. So the only schools recruiting me were really like NAIAs and D2s. And
Parkside's D2.
Parkside's D2, yeah. So yeah, it just seemed like a good fit at the time. I mean, I wasn't paying much, right? So I was getting a good scholarship, and then the only thing is I was going into a program. I mean, the year before I went there, they were like 7-40, and like it didn't even cross my mind because I feel like I just wanted to go like D. I'm like, oh, D2, like that sounds awesome, you know?
That's such a common mindset.
Oh my God, yeah. So it's like, okay, this is cool. Like, whereas I was getting recruited by an NAIA school that was unbelievable, but it's like you kind of push it to the side because you're like, okay, D2 is a little better, but it's not. It's kind of really the same.
Well, especially now.
Yeah.
Now the move is to go NAIA and develop yourself for another year or two, and then try to go Division I.
Yeah.
So especially for football guys, take that time to grow, take that time to get better, and especially for someone who's peaked late.
Right.
It's not a bad idea.
No, totally. So yeah, I didn't really get looked at by any D1s. It was just kind of too late. But I also switched travel ball teams like my junior year, so that helped. But it was like a thing where I should have been playing at that travel ball team, like probably in middle school, because I was.
What team was it?
The Wasco Diamonds. So it's a well-known travel ball team. And the only reason I switched was because my coach at the time at Huntley, he had told me to go to that program because he was like, you should go play there. You'll get recruited. If it wasn't for him, I genuinely don't know if I would have ever played college softball. Like, he was probably one of the biggest influences in my entire life.
Your Huntley coach?
Yeah, he was the assistant coach at Huntley. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, what did you know what you wanted to study, by the way?
No, not really.
So when you, how'd you get into the career you're in?
I kind of fell into it.
Just kind of fell into it? What was your major in college?
At Parkside, it was math. I was thinking about
math.
I loved math.
What?
Yeah, so I wanted to be a math teacher potentially. I didn't really know, and then I thought I wanted to be an actuary for a little bit. So then, when I got the opportunity at Loyola, I thought that it was an academically better fit for me, wanting to be an actuary, just because that school, I mean, has a little bit of a higher educational presence, I guess. So yeah, and then eventually I studied economics there. So I got my bachelor's in economics and a minor in statistics, and now I'm an auditor.
So this is at Loyola. You got your
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's rewind. Sorry, I'm getting off track. So we're at Parkside. Yeah. You do really well there, right? So
I did pretty well.
1 season, 2 seasons?
2 seasons.
Two seasons.
So the funny thing was, so my senior year, I actually was named second team All-American at Huntley. And it was like, I was the only kid on that list going to a D2 school. So, so it's like, I just peaked so late, right? But no, I mean, I was excited to go to Parkside. I liked the coach. And then 2 weeks before season started, the coach, he left. He went to Green Bay. So that was like a whole thing that was tough for me because I really liked the coach. So I debated on maybe going to Green Bay. But at the time at Parkside, the athletic director, she wouldn't release me. So
so you tried?
I tried to get released.
You tried to follow your coach?
I did, and she wouldn't release me. So so I was like, okay.
Was the transfer portal a thing at your point?
No.
Right? When did the transfer? Alex, can you look that up?
I think the year after I transferred.
When the transfer portal became a thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's like so common now to see all these athletes enter the portal, and I would not be wanting to run that portal.
Yeah, no.
It's got to be just chaos.
Oh,
just trying to switch everyone in and out of all these.
It's almost like too easy, I feel like now. Whereas like I feel the situation I was put in was kind of tough.
Yeah.
Well, the athletic director, something happened at Parkside where my sophomore year, our whole athletic department was on probation because the compliance officer and the athletic director just were kind of making mistakes. Mm-hmm. So I think that was probably a part of me not being able to get released. But yeah, so tried to get released, couldn't. my new coach at Parkside came in like 2 weeks late. So like a lot of the seniors were running like our weightlifting and practice, which one of our seniors was Sarah Margolonis. So, yeah, they were running it. And, yeah, so I actually really liked
Shout
the
out to
coach.
Sarah, by the way.
Yeah.
We miss you, Sarah. I haven't seen you in forever.
I know.
She's the
Sarah.
coach at
Cary Grove.
Cary Grove.
Isn't it Cary Grove? Or South? Is it South now?
I think she's a teacher at South.
We'll have to.
But a coach at Cary Grove. I don't know. I feel like teachers are all like they kind of intermingle with all the local schools.
Totally. I thought at one point she was at Cary Grove. She might have switched to South. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
we'll
yeah,
have to text her after this.
I liked my new coach who was there. Actually, I liked her a lot. She was great. And then freshman year I did pretty well. I actually didn't even start. I don't think the first game because I'm more of like a kid who's going to perform in a game and not in practice necessarily. Like I noticed that about myself looking back is that I showed out in games, but in practice I was just kind of like I didn't do anything to make myself noticeable. So then when I got the opportunity to play, I did really well, and then I just stayed in the lineup after that.
Is that an effort thing? Like you're saying you don't put in a lot of effort in practice?
No,
or
I did. I don't know what it was, but
you're
like
saying you don't perform well in practice.
I didn't perform in practice very well. Yeah, I don't know why. I think I've always been like an anxious person. So I think, in a lot of like high pressure situations in like practice, I wouldn't do well. But for some reason in games, I usually would perform really well.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
It's like that extra layer of focus that you can get.
Yeah, yeah. It actually is funny. Every single game when the national anthem played, I got the worst pit in my stomach every single game. And like
always,
that
always. Never left?
It never left. It never got easier. I think a part of that was because I was a leadoff hitter. So a lot of the times I was starting the game. Like I was
you're
the first person. I get like nervous just like thinking about it. I got really, really nervous before every game, but it's because I cared so much.
You're super nervous before this too.
I was really, I get nervous a lot.
I was gonna say I'm noticing a theme here with getting nervous.
Yeah, I do. I'm
Jess tried to back out of this podcast.
I did. I'm a nervous person.
She tried real hard to get out of this. She's like, "Can we just postpone it?"
I don't like to be filmed.
No, you're doing fine.
We're
doing great. Everything's fine.
I got that.
No throw up yet.
The transfer portal, it looks like it started October of 2018.
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That makes sense.
way after I was done.
Yeah, that was actually
when did you graduate?
2020. So I transferred in 2018, but I transferred the summer of 2018. So I had to ask for
wasn't necessarily a thing.
No, I had to ask for permission to contact, and then I had to ask for my release. And at that point, there was a different athletic director. So, they gave me my release, and everything went pretty smooth.
You had to do the same thing, Baylor to Mizzou. I had to ask for permission.
Right.
And then the release of whatever.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Okay, so we did 2 years at Parkside.
Yep.
And what position are you?
I was center field at Parkside.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I wanted to say second base for some reason. Why did I want to say second base?
I don't know. I played shortstop in high school.
Okay.
But I was never an infielder. I just played shortstop because we didn't have really shortstop.
Yeah, you're really fast, but I feel like your footwork.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't mean to bash you.
Oh no, I couldn't play.
Like
infield.
I feel like you'd get tangled.
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
You just trip over your step on your shoelaces type of deal.
Yeah, to be honest, I was not a good defender at all. Like even in the outfield, the only reason I was kind of okay is because I was fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually at Loyola, my senior year, because I played right field at Loyola. But my senior year, I had another new coach. So I had 3 coaches throughout my college career. But my senior year, like she looked me dead in the eye. She's like, "Has anyone ever actually coached you like how to play outfield?" I'm like, "Not really." Like she could just tell that like I wasn't that good of an outfielder, but I could hit.
Yeah.
So I just was I was obviously playing because I could hit. So but I feel like all my coaches just kind of like sidelined my outfield skills because I could hit. So it's kind of funny. It's like my senior year, of course, I'm like about to be done, and she's finally saying something.
So Parkside was outfield too?
Yep. Yeah, I played center field.
Okay, so when did it become a thing that you're like? Because I remember training you, and you're like, dude, I can go. I have like an opportunity to go Loyola.
Yeah.
And your anxious self was like, I don't know, like maybe I shouldn't, and I kind of do, but I don't want to. And I remember talking about your boyfriend at the time too. We were kind of like putting the whole equation together. And if I remember correctly, I was like, dude, you're going with D1. Like the whole time I was like, you got the opportunity to go.
Yeah.
You freaking go.
Oh, totally.
Especially for like a female, because there's not really like a next. There's USA softball, right? The softball team, but
there's like a pro league, but
there's just a little more next level stuff for guys. But for girls, like once you're done with D1, that's kind of it. It's kind of the top,
pretty much. Yeah.
So. Can you walk us through that thought process and like kind of how that went for you in your head? And your anxious mind pushing you back and forth.
Well, actually, so my sophomore year at Parkside, I didn't play that well. I hit like 320, which it ended up being like the worst average I had in my whole career. So my coach at the time, she wasn't a slapping coach, so I was kind of on my own a little bit with slapping. So it was funny because
Can you describe slapping really quick? Because a lot of the viewers who don't know what softball, don't watch softball.
So essentially you're on the left-hand side of the batter's box, and you're running / walking through the box as you're hitting the ball. So it's like a head start to first. So like the purpose of it is to hit the ball to the left side, gives you more time to beat out a ground ball, really. So that's all I did. I didn't hit regular. I just slapped.
You never hit regular?
No. I was a righty.
Well, there was never any situation?
No, I hate it. I didn't do it. I didn't like it because I could slap.
Hold on. So you're righty?
I was a righty. I was a righty up until my freshman year of high school, and then I switched to being a lefty so that I could slap. So yeah, like a lot of slappers, usually they can hit and slap, but
you're just a slapper.
I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Hitting never, like on the left side, never clicked with me, and I was still able to hit the ball through the infield as a slapper. So it's like, what's the point?
If it works, it works.
Yeah, like it
it's
worked.
part of the game.
Oh yeah, and it totally worked. Like I still got on base a ton, and I could hit RBIs and stuff. Like I wasn't hitting like homers, but it worked. So
do you suck at hitting? Like if you were to try to hit, were you just bad at that?
Yeah, I just didn't like it. Like I feel like the timing for me was weird. Like I just never liked it.
Interesting.
Like slapping. Yeah.
I never knew that. I thought you were lefty all the way.
No. It's the only thing in my life I do lefty. Now I golf lefty. So.
Yeah, you recently took up golf. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Do you have your own clubs yet?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, she's getting serious.
I'm not gonna buy like nice ones until I actually get good.
No. Start to get a year under your belt and then go from there.
Yeah. But anyways.
Back to your thought process.
Yeah. So my hitting coach at the time, like he was like my high school hitting coach. I still stayed in touch with him. I think I was coaching with him going into my junior year at Parkside. So like that summer. And he was in touch with the Loyola coach. And the Loyola coach had mentioned that they had a spot, they had some money, and that I could potentially be a good fit. So then my coach kind of relayed it to me, and it was like an opportunity I couldn't really pass up because in high school I really wanted to go to Loyola, but they were offering me a walk-on at the time. And I don't know, like looking back on it now, I just think it's cool that like that coach, he saw something in me that no one else saw. And I had like the worst season at Parkside. Like I didn't do well my sophomore season. But
you were starting, right?
I was still.
But you just didn't have a great season.
Yeah, I feel like for my standards, I didn't have a great season.
Well, your speed is a tool.
Yes, 100%. And I think he saw that, and no one else saw that besides him. So I went from hitting. So basically, it was kind of an opportunity I couldn't pass up, right? And my boyfriend at the time was at Parkside. And not to throw him under the bus, but he was kind of against me leaving because he wanted me to stay.
I said, that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, he's trying to hold you back, dude. Like, that's not what a boyfriend should do in that situation.
No.
And I know it's hard. Like, we've been there, long distance relationships and stuff like that, but we gotta spread the wings.
Away, too. Parkside's like an hour from Loyola.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a train ride away. Like, it's not far. But anyways,
selfish son of where's the selfish? Yeah. You're a selfish man.
Yeah, and so if it wasn't for you, honestly, like you really influenced me.
I pushed you big time.
Yeah, you influenced me.
I'm pretty sure I was like, dude, you don't have a choice. You're going.
Yeah. So.
And this is when we were in the thick of it with our training too. Like we were training
6 days a week.
6 days a week.
Yeah.
And you were really killing it.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I think that's when I saw the biggest difference.
Yeah, so let's talk about that really quick.
Yeah.
What's your TNT? Well, I guess you kind of have two different experiences now. So you have one experience as an athlete where, we were talking about diet and sports performance and getting faster, jumping higher, and then you have a whole other experience, which we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But what was the experience at TNT like for being an athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a grind, like a full-on grind. I mean, we talk about this a lot. Like I'll never forget it. One of the first times I think I ever went to TNT, I did the prowlers. And after I did them, I sat down on this bench and I fully blacked out. Like,
Oh,
like,
you turned bright white.
yeah, fully blacked out. And I was
remember
calling
this.
your name. I was like, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
And you had to bring me like
this.
a Gatorade.
You went blind. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Yeah. So
This is bringing back memories big time.
I literally blacked out. So like those workouts for me were something like I had never experienced before. But like
Was that Hell Week or was it just a normal workout?
I have no idea. It could have just been a normal workout, to be honest.
I don't remember. I remember panicking a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, is this person
this
gonna
girl's
pass out at my gym? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, no, I fully blacked out. But yeah, so
who
it
was
just
working
like,
there at the time? Obviously
I
me.
think it.
Was it Rich?
Oh, maybe Rich. Yeah,
It was me and Rich.
probably. Yeah.
That would make sense because Sarah and
Sarah
Rich were a
was-
little bit of a thing for a while.
Yep. So
Okay.
she was there. Yeah. But yeah, so it was just like a whole different experience for me. But that was going into my sophomore year. That was the first time. So then going into my junior year, like looking back on it now, I was in the best shape of my entire life. I mean, and at that point, like I didn't drink. I was eating super good. Like I was in the best shape of my life. And
Yeah, let's talk about some of your statistics. How many? Okay, I was trying to tell someone the other day because I'm pretty sure you would hold the female pull-up record
oh yeah,
at TNT too. What did you get up to?
I think I got up to 13.
Okay, because I thought it was 12 or 14.
Yeah.
And it was strict pull-ups. Like it was.
Yeah.
We were not kipping or anything.
No.
You were dead hang.
Yeah.
All the way down, all the way up, and we got to 14 or 13
13 pull-ups.
pull-ups. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe.
How many,
There
how
was
many
a
can you
time.
pump out right now?
Oh, I don't even know how many I could do. I don't want to talk about
We
it.
don't.
I need to train longer.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. We did speed tests, but we didn't really have. I wouldn't remember what those
I don't
measurements
know.
were.
Yeah, I don't know honestly, because I don't even know at the time what.
I know you were squatting a lot.
Yeah, for me,
For
I've
you.
never had a good back squat ever. Like that's
It's
always
just kind
been
of
my
the way your anatomy is.
Yeah,
Some people are really good at
yeah.
it. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of wild when I think about some of the guys that I knew like on the football field. Maybe they would suck at football or whatever, and they would just be like freaks in the weight room.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yep.
It never really made any sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a big equation, whether you're going to be really good at squats or
Right.
bench or whatever.
Isn't
I know
back
bench.
squat like it's huge the difference between your femur and your tibia?
Yeah, femur
Oh,
length's
is it?
huge. Femur
It
length's huge because
affects
if
everything
you got a
your
long
depth.
femur, you have to sit back more. If you have to sit back more, now my chest is going to dip. So a ton of that pressure goes on your low back, and you're not able to just drive straight up. But that's a huge factor of it. But leg length in general is going to play a lot in that, and you are a lot of leg.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So you kind of have to do that low bar squat. But I remember your back squat increasing a lot. So maybe
a
it wasn't a
ton.
lot relative to whatever we could have been if we
Yeah.
were training for a long time.
Yeah.
So we're training at TNT. You get to go to Loyola, and this is one of my favorite stories ever to tell. But because part of it's because I pushed you so hard to go there, and I know you were kind of 50-50. Like you could have done either, and I'm like, no, you're freaking going to Loyola.
Yeah.
And I was so happy the day you sent me. I don't know if you sent me a video
I think
or
I did.
you sent the video.
Of when I was just like smoking everyone in that
Smoking
video.
everyone.
Yeah. It was like our coach like took a video and I didn't
Smoke.
when I'm running, I don't really notice it. And I
Yeah.
watched the video and I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
When I got this video, I'm sure it's like exacerbated now because in my memory I was like, that's my girl.
Yeah.
That's my girl just sprinting.
Yeah.
But it had to be like 7 car lengths.
Yeah. I was flying.
Like only Jess looked like she was running by herself.
Yeah.
So her coach took a video of them sprinting, and it was like the pack and then Jess. And I remember seeing this one video and I was just like, oh God, I'm so happy because it just reaffirmed like, dude, you're freaking D1.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
D1.
Oh, I was ready for it, but I didn't know it like at all. You know, I didn't think like, I don't know if I'm gonna be good enough. You know, like that's always how I've been. But then like showing up and at least like not even softball wise, but like as far as like being physically fit for being a Division I athlete, like I knew I could hang. So I feel like that was really important for me. Because softball wise, you know, I questioned myself because I had just come off my sophomore slump. Like I did so bad. Like if I was any of those girls at Loyola and I looked at my stats, I'd have been like, oh, this girl's nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'd have been like, okay, like whatever. I think I had like 30 strikeouts my sophomore year. Like I struck out so many times. It was bad.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. But
How
I
many
also
games?
had,
How many games were softball careers
I think it was like
or softball seasons?
45 maybe, 40 at Parkside maybe. I think we were
So
like
that's a pretty good
25 and 25 my freshman year. Oh, so maybe like 50, yeah. 40 to 50, I'll say.
Okay, so what was it like switching, like for teammate wise?
Oh,
were your teammates cool?
Yeah.
Did they? I remember you had another story. This was probably in the same week.
Yeah.
But you were doing pull-ups, or it was assisted pull-ups, and you're like, no, I don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
everyone's like,
yeah.
what?
I know. Well, so we were doing, what is it called? Like eccentric. So when you like are up here and then you slowly go down, right?
because the strength coach probably assumed that nobody can do a pull-up.
Yes. So then I like looked at her because she was like, oh, you can jump up to the bar. And I was like, do I have to jump? And she's like, well, no, because it was only like 4 or 5 or something. So I was
That's
like,
so
okay.
awesome.
So I
love
like
that story.
just started pulling myself up and like dropping back down. And like eventually I started just like adding weight. Like I had a belt on.
Jesus.
Like a 25.
They had to be like, who's this freak?
Yeah, yeah. They were probably like, what is this girl
This is
doing?
the first trans athlete. She snuck by.
Yeah, no kidding. Seriously. But yeah, it was just like so strong and I didn't even know it really. Because yeah, and like at Parkside, our
Well, we
workouts
didn't have
weren't
much
as intense either.
Yeah, and we didn't have much to compare to at TNT. Like there wasn't a
No.
ton of girl athletes,
Softball
Division I
players,
softball.
no.
So you were entering a whole new arena. And that's why that's a big reason why I wanted to ask you in here too. So, because you're like, oh, I'm not that interesting of a person, but you do have a story.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, my softball, and it's like, it's sad because now it's like after school you got to find kind of like a whole new. You got to find yourself again, which is so weird. But I love talking about college and softball.
The glory days.
Yeah, the good days. Yeah.
Yeah, the
for
glory
sure.
days.
Yeah.
So I think I interrupted you, but how was the interaction with the teammates? Were they very accepting?
Yeah,
And
it's great. Yeah.
I'm sure it helps that you were kind of a freak.
Yeah, I think so. I think they respected me more because I was proving myself physically. And then, and then also, I mean, softball wise, I showed up eventually too because my coach, he helped me a ton. He was a slapping coach. So
At Loyola.
yeah, so like he changed my whole swing. And it was like night and day. But
Well, it's a science. It's a science in itself, the slap.
Yeah.
Because I remember looking up videos because I knew you were like a slapper. I'm like, all right, I got to learn a little bit more about this. And there was just a million videos. I'm like, this is important.
It is. Yeah.
This is important to softball. Does the average team have, what, 1, 2, 3 slappers? Like how many?
Usually like 3 at
like
most.
2 to 3?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, my teammates were awesome at Loyola. Like, and actually those girls helped me gain so much confidence because they were all really confident players because they had all come from like backgrounds
It's contagious.
of playing on the most like the highest level travel ball team, right? So like they all thought they were the best, which was great. I thought that was awesome, right? I'm like, I need to have this mindset too. Like I'm competing with you guys, like I'm up there with you. Like why am I not having this mindset too?
Right.
So yeah, so I eventually I think developed that mindset because of those girls. So yeah, on the field they were great teammates. Like I have nothing bad to say about them. They were awesome. And then off the field, like amazing. Loved them.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
No drama at all?
A little bit, it's like that.
Here and there.
But I was my first year I was
There's
kind of
always a little
Yeah,
drama.
we had like 2 main clicks kind of, and I was a little bit of a floater. My first year, because I didn't really know what I was coming into.
Right.
Right.
You can't
but,
just jump into the plastics.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Right. You got to feel
This
it
is
out.
Mean
a little
Girls.
bit.
You got to kind of play the middle.
Yeah.
And
But they were a lot of fun. Like at Parkside, well, I feel like because I was also in a relationship at Parkside and like I was kind of just hanging out with my boyfriend. So then I got a chance to venture out on my own.
Did you guys break up basically right away?
After the first year, we broke up.
After the first year at Loyola.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like I got a taste of like being on my own for the first time because I started dating when I was like 15. So I was finally doing my own thing, like having so much fun with my teammates. Like it was a blast. So yeah. So then it was kind of like, all right, I need to be on my own for a little bit.
So chemistry is good. You like
Yeah.
it there. You feel like you made a good decision. At what point did you earn a starting position?
The second game of the season. So
Really?
I didn't start my first game because all of the outfielders. So one of the returning outfielders is one of my best friends still. She led the team in average the year before. So I'm like, okay, she's playing. Like, she's a stud. Still probably the best hitter I've ever seen, like to this day. Like,
hitter,
she's
not
a stud.
slapper.
She was a hitter. Yeah. Hitter, outfielder. And she was a great outfielder too. But so then the other two returning outfielders were both seniors. So I was like, oh, shit.
Just pull your mic down a little bit.
Pull mine down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry. Young Alex
Anyways,
fixing
yeah.
us.
Am I good?
No, you guys are good now.
Awesome. But yeah, so I was like, oh shit, am I gonna play? Because we had returning seniors, and then the other returning outfielder was like she had the highest batting average on the team.
So
last
what
year.
was the catalyst that gave you your spot?
So first game I didn't start, and I was like, damn, this sucks. Like I was like, this really sucks. I worked so hard.
Do you guys have like a depth chart? Like, do you have a listed depth chart? That's how it was in football, at least.
No.
Okay.
No, like you don't really know up until
The
first game. Yeah. So until that coach reads the lineup, it's kind of like, okay. So then the second game I started. So I was like, okay, I've got to like really prove myself here. Yeah. And I did. So I don't remember exactly, but I think I went like 2 for 3, a couple stolen bases. And then that whole weekend I balled out. Like, it was in the Rosemont Dome. So it was like we weren't playing like that great of teams. It was like a lot of mid-major D1s. But yeah, and then I solidified my spot, I think, that weekend. And then, it kind of just continued on for the rest of the season. I did well.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What was the I could see the picture that you sent me. It was like All-American or records for something.
Yeah. So I was
you set a record.
Newcomer of the Year.
Newcomer of the Year.
Yeah,
That's what
I was the Missouri Valley Conference Newcomer of the Year. Yeah, which was cool.
Sweet. Yeah. So you definitely had a great year.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And it's funny because I went from hitting at Parkside my sophomore year. I think I hit like 323. And then I go into Loyola and I hit like 370.
Nice.
So like I went from D2 to D1 and my batting average increased like crazy. But it's because my coach was awesome. Like, he was really helping me a lot with my swing. So How was the level of difficulty? How did it compare? When you obviously D2 is X amount of difficulty. How was it with D1? I felt that like the pitching was a little bit better at D1. The conference I was in at D2 was still pretty good. The GLVC is a good conference. But the pitchers just threw a lot harder at D1. Like, you're seeing, mostly upper 60s, lower 70s. And then my junior year, the pitcher at Drake, she threw like 5 perfect games that season. So she was unreal. She was throwing like 74 miles per hour. So
Sheesh.
So you see a lot of good pitching, and then like obviously the shortstops are better. And I saw a lot of like 5-man defenses against me. So like they would bring their right fielder in and play. So then they would have 3 people on the left side, 2 people on the right side. So I saw like a lot of that, which made it a little bit more.
Did you ever try to adjust your game based on that? Like, is there such thing as pulling a slap?
Yeah, but what they would do is they'd pitch me outside every single time. But I liked that because I could hit
easier to take it that way.
Yeah, I could hit the outside pitch a lot better. So I didn't really mind it. I just focused on like just hitting the ball through the infield, just like hitting line drives.
Well, you were beating out plays in the infield anyway.
Yeah.
So
as long as I didn't hit it right at someone,
Yeah, just get the ball in the field and run to first base.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would say it was a little bit more challenging, but I feel like the biggest difference from D2 to D1 that I saw was, 1, the pitchers were just a little bit better, and then 2, just like your roster's a lot deeper. So like at
the
D1,
athletic ability is kind of the same.
Yeah, like I would say there was at least one girl at Parkside who, like, I've told her this, like she could have competed at D1 no problem. Like, she's a freak athlete. But kind of like same as me, just like didn't know the whole recruiting process in high school, like just wasn't really sure of it. But D2 is still a huge accomplishment, right? It's a great accomplishment. And if you can exceed at the Division II level,
might as well go.
Yeah, right.
Especially now, the transfer portal makes it so much easier.
Oh yeah.
And are you familiar with how the transfer portal works?
Not really, to be honest.
I'm not super. I just know it's a thing.
Yeah, I don't.
I've never really dove into it. I don't really pay
either.
too much attention to it. I just know it's a thing, and I know it's really easy to transfer now.
Oh yeah, like stupid
There's like
easy.
there are no rules anymore.
No.
Just like, oh, I'm not playing. I'm going to transfer.
Right.
And it's so common. It's so common now.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So you liked your experience at Loyola?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
At what point did you become a little bit of a party animal? Was that Loyola?
Yeah. 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 It was mostly my senior year of Loyola. I mean, like I was like single for the first time in, I don't know, 6 years, right? Like
Yeah.
I was just having fun with my teammates. Like, yeah, it was fun. We had a lot of fun. And then COVID hit. So it was like, what else was I gonna do? My whole softball career just ended on a dime. Like it was like, all right.
Wait, so I thought you finished your career before COVID.
No.
You didn't get to play your last season.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
We were just talking about the first episode's not out yet, but Colton had shared a lot about it, and you just look back at how fucking stupid it was.
Yeah, it's messed up.
It was so stupid.
Yeah.
So did you have an option to get another year,
Yeah.
and you decided not to?
No, I
Okay, this is actually coming back to me now.
Yeah, I already had a job offer, so it was a good job offer. Like
I feel like your coach was upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for sure. So, and that was a new coach too. So, like the coach I really liked, that got recruited by junior year, he got fired. He went to Penn State. So then we had a new coach. She's from NIU, and I mean, I didn't mind. Like, I feel like she was new. I don't know. It was all right, but I just didn't feel like it was worth it to go back another year.
You were just ready to move on.
Yeah, I was, and I remember my coaches saying like, don't do it. Like, you're going to regret it because you can't go. Yeah, I regret it. You can't go back to school. This is it. So yeah, I totally regret it. But
I can argue both.
Yeah, right. Because I'm like, okay, if I would have gone back, I probably would have had to get a master's for no reason.
Well, you're still paying money. You're not going to college for free.
Right. Yeah. So my coach said, she's like, oh, we'll give you like a 60% athletic scholarship. So I don't even know how much academic I would have covered.
You're still
paying money
Loyola's
for no
still
reason.
Really expensive.
It's very expensive. And she's like, oh, you don't even have to finish your master's. Like, just take 9 credits in the fall, 9 credits in the spring. And I'm like, what's the point of that? I mean, and I already have a job.
Sounds like a lot of wasted time.
Yeah. So that's kind of.
But you do regret it.
I do. I wish that I actually transferred. I wish I went to the portal and transferred to a different school and like even tried to go to like a big school and just like was a pinch runner.
Just did one more year.
Right. Like something. Yeah. Like, or like transferred to a D2, like a powerhouse D2 and go win like a national championship.
And why? So what's the main thing why you regret it? What's the main reason?
Because it's like, I mean, now I just work a 9 to 5. I just sit behind a desk all day, and it's like.
I know we talk about this a lot. So Jess works out with us in the morning now.
Mm-hmm,
so
I do. Yeah. So it's like that was like the best part of my life was softball, and then it's like it's all over, and now what do I do? It's like I have to find myself again.
I try to tell all the kids, I'm like,
yeah,
you guys, it's that scene from The Office. You watch The Office?
Yes.
Yeah, we watch a lot of the same shows.
Yes, we do.
We love The Office here in the Drain House, and one of my favorite scenes or quotes, we'll call it, is Andy Bernard.
Yeah.
And Andy's like, I wish someone would have told me we were in the good old days.
Yeah.
And dude, you were in the good old days.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
And I don't know so many kids are gonna watch this and be like, Steve told me this. Steve told me this. Steve told me this. And it's like my number one thing that I tell you guys because I don't think I ever told it to you. I wasn't a huge Office fan at the time.
Right.
But yeah, now that it's like over, I love it. But
yeah, right.
It's so true. You have no idea just how special that time of your life is.
No.
And how careless it is. Even though it feels like, oh my God, there's so much pressure. My boyfriend's far. I have finals.
Right.
We have a big game coming up. And you think that's like this mountain of pressure. And really, there's no pressure at all.
No.
You have no pressure.
No. Yeah, I would go back to it like in an instant.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's like, imagine having that mindset that you have now and when you're playing in college. Like I could have been even better than what I was because I was always putting so much pressure on myself. And now I'm like, what was I doing?
Youth is wasted on the young.
It is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah, like I don't know what I was doing. Like mentally, I was just like, I thought that softball and like college softball was the most important thing of all time. Like I had to perform or like I couldn't strike out. And it's like, I don't know why I was acting like the world was going to end if I struck out. Like, it's so
I was
stupid.
the same way
Right?
with baseball. Oh my God.
Yeah.
If I struck out, get out of the dugout.
Oh my God.
I was so bad. I would
Yeah.
break bats, helmets. I would chuck my glove. My dad was my coach for a long time, and he hated that so much. I wish he would have like punish me more. I wish he would have like showed me what's up, like at a much younger age. But instead he was like, oh, it's just my kid being my kid. And he chalked it up as, oh, I had the same anger issues.
Right. Yeah.
So he's like, oh, it's just
passionate,
hereditary.
yeah.
No, dude. Dad should have beat my ass the first time I did that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
The first time I did it, because it's like looking back, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, how embarrassing.
Like, what an idiot, dude. I had to look so, because when I see a kid do it now,
oh my God,
I'm just like, you look like a moron.
Yeah, you're like, for what? Like, why are you doing that?
I went to see
no reason.
You know Dave Wirtz. Dave Wirtz is a client, but Dave's son Logan.
Okay.
You probably you would recognize him for sure.
Okay.
But I watched Logan play, and Logan struck out, and he just blew up. I went up to him. I was like, knock that shit off. And he was like, he took it really well from me. You know, it's one thing that your dad's saying it.
Yeah.
It's if your trainer says it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He took it really well. But
I had
every time I see a kid do it, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, right. I used to throw fits, like temper tantrums like that. And like in high school, I even did it. And my one coach I was talking about, he's the one who influenced me a ton, but he benched me. Like, and I was a kid where like I didn't get benched really. And so he benched me, and I was like, he called me after the game, and he's like, you want to know why I benched you? And I was like, so pissed, like crying, it's like ridiculous. And yeah, he's like, you got to figure out your attitude. Like, you can't do that. Getting so pissed all the time. Contagious. Yeah, it's awful. It's horrible. And it's it's not that serious.
Yeah, I remember, because I needed to do something, and this is why I love pitching. I was like, I need to do something to forget about what just happened. And I love pitching because you strike out, you get back on the mound, and I get to strike everyone out now.
Yeah.
But I just lost my train of thought. What was I just saying?
I'm not getting pissed.
I just lost it. See, we fumble sometimes. Jess was so worried this was going to happen.
I was. But yeah, no, I mean, the whole attitude thing, it's crazy. If I could go back, what I know now, and like tell myself what I know now, I feel like my mentality would be so different.
100%.
Yeah, it's very important.
Youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to talk more about your transition to like regular
adult life.
Yeah, because we talk about that so much.
Yeah.
Are you we talked about doing like a side hustle thing. Have you worked on that at all?
I do hitting lessons still.
Oh,
consider that a little bit. It's like I don't do as many as I used to do. I just do like a few here and there, but that's like kind of my side hustle a little bit. So, yeah, I'm content with it now.
You enjoy your job?
Yeah, I do. It's not bad.
It's
not bad. Yeah,
it's part of life.
You're right. It's
like
it's
at some point you kind of have to just like take that next step. And
exactly. And I never really knew. Like, I was never someone who's like, oh, I want to do this, and like I never had a plan. So, I mean, I'm working at a good company now, like living a comfortable life. That's all I could ask for, really. And yeah, I like my job. It challenges me still. So yeah, it's good.
We were, me and Chris were working out today, actually. And we were, because I said, hey, Jess, come on the podcast tonight. He's like, no way, Jess
really?
is coming on the podcast. And Kayla was there, Chris's fiance.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris is like, oh, Kayla, you got to listen to this. So we were talking about, we had our lifting group. And Jess was like, we all got to go out. Yeah. This was early.
Oh, yeah.
This was early.
It's my party phase.
Yeah. At what point did you come back to TNT, by the way?
I think it was like...
Just when you moved back.
Yeah, I think
because you had moved to Wisconsin for a bit.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about the first time after college or the second time?
Yeah, after college.
Oh, after college. No, I was... it was COVID. So you were like the only person that was open. So I was like sitting in my apartment in Chicago, just like drinking with my roommate all the time, like, doing schoolwork. And then school ended in like May. And I think I hit you up and was like, are you open? And it was like you and a few other dudes. And I just showed up.
Yeah, we kept it on the down low.
Yeah, it was on the DL. So
we kept it on the down low.
So yeah,
well, not for very long though.
No.
I was only quiet for
when it was like really serious or
maybe like 2 months. I was really quiet, but everyone started messaging me because I would kind of like drop a little shot on my story of like me working out, and I wouldn't show anyone, even though there was probably like 10 people in the background.
Yeah, right.
And eventually I was just like, screw it, I'm open.
Yeah.
Come shut me down.
Yeah, right. Because I think that was the fear initially, was like getting shut down or something.
Yeah.
But then that kind of all went away. But so I wasn't working out, softball was ended. So I'm like, okay, like, can I come work out? And I was working fully remote. So I didn't have any way of like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
Like
Everything
so
was just
cool.
shut down.
Yeah, right. So it was cool. Yeah.
But
I always wanted to go out. Yeah.
Yeah. What I was saying was Jess always wanted to get the group out, and the group was, I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. At the time, like the OG
group?
it was like me, you,
Dave
Chris,
Thomas.
Dave, Ann, Maddie.
Ann was in that group. Courtney. Was Courtney in it?
Yeah,
Courtney
she was in there. Anthony, kind of. He was a little late, but he came out.
Yeah, he joined later.
I think he came. I don't know, actually. But yeah. So,
But forever. This was like a lifting group. We started together. We worked out together. We stretched together. We drank our protein together. We did everything together, like fitness-wise.
Yeah.
And Jess was always the one like, we got to go out. We got to go out. We got to go out.
Yeah.
And we were talking to Kayla, and we were making fun of you because now all you want to do is go home, hang with your dog, go to sleep, eat your food.
Yeah.
Wake up early, get ready for work, stretch.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're a completely new person
Yeah,
now.
I am. Yeah.
But it's a transition that every person hits because I was older than you were now.
Yeah.
When you wanted to go out.
Right. Because how much older are you than
I'm
me?
33.
Okay, and I'm 26. So I was 22, so you were 28 at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And, so if some kid
I was old, dude.
Yeah, like if some kid was saying that
you would
to me
always
right
give
now.
me shit.
Yeah, no.
You would always give me. You guys are so lame.
Yeah, like, you guys are lame.
Or the one time we did go out, and I probably had maybe one drink, and you were like,
I would like pregame it too.
we were just telling this story, Chris.
Like pregame the bar.
Chris is like, Kayla, this one time, Jess took her fake nail, shoved it in a White Claw, and shotgunned it in front of us.
At the bar.
That was at the bar.
Yeah,
that was
Broken
at the
Oar.
bar. And we were like, oh, shit, she's out for the night. Like, I was trying to go to bed in an hour.
Yeah.
Me and Chris are both like, are you staying all night?
Yeah.
Because Jess thinks we're staying. Like, Jess thinks we are here for it.
Oh, my God. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
That was a fun couple hours, though.
It was.
Having the whole
Yeah,
crew
me
out.
and you did the worm at the Broken Oar. We did the worm together.
I forgot about that.
Like in sync. Yeah, it was cool. Never forget.
Oh, man. But it's just so funny because now, like, do you have any desire
Oh, I mean,
to go out, party, drink?
I mean, yeah. Like I still like to have a good time. But like my body can't handle it anymore. Like I can't do it because I just.
How old are you right now?
26. I just turned 26. Yeah. So like 24 was like a year of just like hangover city. Like it was like, it was bad. Like Matt makes fun of me all the time because so Thanksgiving, I didn't make it to Thanksgiving. I think it was 2022. So like we went out, for like Blackout Wednesday with like his brother and everyone. And we were supposed to go to his parents the next day, and I didn't make it until like 6 p.m. And I was like shaking, like couldn't even eat because I was so hungover. And
oh
then
my God.
that same year, Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas, we went out, had way too much to drink. And then Christmas Eve, we were in Wisconsin. We had to drive home to my aunt's. I was throwing up at my aunt's house like the entire time. Like missed another holiday. And then New Year's Eve, same thing. I like went out with all my college friends.
God.
So I was like, I'm not invincible anymore. I can't be doing this stuff anymore.
But it was never like that in college for you?
No. I feel like I would recover pretty quickly.
Invincible.
Yeah. But it was like, it was weird. It was like that transition after college. And it's like, what do I do now? Like, I didn't have a purpose really. And like, I was just having fun with my friends and going out. And yeah, but like now thinking about
Was that tough for you?
Yeah, like looking back on it.
Because
like,
I feel like
what was I doing?
We're kind of glossing over it, but I feel like a ton of athletes run into that.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like, all right, what do I do now?
Yeah, it was so weird. Especially with COVID too. Like that was the worst timing.
Well, it was a really abrupt. Like you didn't get to have. Okay, we got 3 games left. We got 2 games left.
I didn't have a senior night. Like I didn't have the closure of any of that. So yeah, I think that affected me for sure. Yeah, but
that'd be super hard.
It was hard because it's like that's all you know. Sports.
Yeah, typically you get to hang up your cleats.
Right.
And you were decided by COVID.
Mm-hmm.
COVID hung up your
yeah,
cleats.
And I was having a really good season. Like, yeah, it sucked. But yeah, so then COVID happened, right? Everyone's kind of like hiding out, and then all we did was just like party. Me and all my
That's
friends.
what you spread the disease everywhere.
exactly.
You were the reason. Everything was
I
still
was
shut
the
down
spreader.
for.
Yeah.
What did they call it?
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Super spreader.
Oh,
Super spreader. Super spreader
Yeah, it was a
event.
super spreader for
Oh
sure.
my God, Jess was a super spreader.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think about it now, like if a girl or a kid walked into your gym at like 22 and was like, yeah, let's go drink, I would probably look at them and say, no. Like, I'm not doing that. So it's so funny to like put myself in your shoes. Like, I can't believe you guys put up with me. I really
Man,
don't
it would
know
be like
how.
a Wednesday, and we'd be there at 5:50, and we're all warming up, and Jess comes in just looking like a little more rough than usual, and be like, Jess, what's up? Oh, went out last night. It was $5 this or whatever. Like, dude, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Who was out with you? Like, oh, me and my friends.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Like,
Just by myself, though.
did you go out by yourself?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
No,
I would
didn't.
not put that past you in that time, though.
At
You were
that
just-
time, yeah, I wouldn't put it past me
You're just
either.
kind of a party animal.
Yeah, I was. But yeah, but I would still show up and work out, which was crazy.
Yeah,
I'd
every
show
day.
up at like
Every
6
day you would
a.m.
show up.
And I'd have like a whole bottle of wine the night before, like 2 bottles of wine, and
Yeah.
just show up. I don't know how I did
So
it.
now we get to talk about the second phase, right? So you're an athlete, and
Right.
now you're I call it just Gen Pop, so general population.
Okay, yeah.
Working out. What is the mindset like now when you work out?
Just work out and to like not gain weight. Like, like I'm pretty much like, all right, I got to work out or else if
So
I
you just
don't.
make it a priority,
Yeah, like I feel like horrible if I don't go work out because I know
mentally or physically.
both. Yeah, it's like I feel like it's more physically. Like I just want to stay in shape. Because that's another thing I struggled with was like out of college, I could eat and drink whatever I wanted and I wouldn't gain any weight. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, if I work out, I'll be fine, right? So then I would keep eating and drinking whatever I wanted. And then I started gaining weight and I realized like working out isn't enough. I have to like actually
You have to stop
change
eating
my
junk food.
diet too. Yeah. And but yeah, so I mean,
How have you changed it? If you have,
if I have. So I feel like I
because
changed
you
it.
definitely
like,
do not fully listen to me. Like
no,
you
I
used to.
don't. No, and like in waves, I sometimes change it.
You
like
get really motivated, and then I'll ask you 2 weeks later, like, "How's it going?" You're like, "Yeah."
back to
Just
normal.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna go do this set, Steve. I'll be right back."
Yeah.
You brush it off.
I feel like I always think about it. Like I would know in my head, like if I'm out at a restaurant, like I know, I'm like, okay, this is the good option. This is the bad option. Like I really should get the good option, and I just don't.
How
So,
often is that? Well, do you and Matt eat out a lot?
On the weekends only, really. Like during the week, we don't. We used to go out all the time out to eat all the time. And then we both were like, okay, we can't do that anymore. So now it's like pretty much Friday, Saturday,
You go out
Sunday
both
even.
nights?
What was
Do you go out or order in?
it? Either.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're trying to get out of the habit of even that, but both of us like to go. Like we just like to go out, get out of the house. So I just have to make those healthier choices when I'm out. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Because I just don't. I like fully know what I'm doing. Like
I know you do.
and then I
that's
get
what pisses
and then I
me
get
off,
mad and then I'm
honestly.
like, I'm gaining weight.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off because like you know
Yeah.
exactly what you need to do.
I
And
do.
I've tried to get this girl to do a 24-hour fast, or I tried to get you to do a 48-hour fast.
Yeah. That was
And
not.
she texts me like 6 hours and she's like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can
Sometimes
do it.
I just say yes.
Yeah.
Just to get you
Just
off
to
my
get-
back.
Yeah,
I'm like, all
yeah,
right, Steve.
Steve, I'm in. I'm in, Steve. I'll do
Yeah.
that. And then
I
get the text
leave.
later.
And I'm like, all right, I won't see him for.
Was that
a
how it
few
was with the
days.
podcast?
Yeah,
You're-
100%. Well, yeah, I could do
I
that.
said, Jess, you want to do a podcast? Oh, yeah, I could totally do
Yeah.
that. And days ago, Steve, I'm out. I can't do it. I'm too nervous.
Yeah, I'm a nervous person. What can I say?
So, okay, let's get this wrapped up a little bit. But I want to ask you, being the athlete that you were, having the transition that you had, what kind of advice? Well, let's say, what kind of advice would you give yourself as, let's say, a freshman in high school?
Ooh, I don't know. As far as like athletics,
Just like there's no
or like
limit.
no,
There's no
okay.
limit to your advice. You're talking to yourself at your freshman year of
Okay.
high school.
I don't want to go too deep, but
No,
like
you can go deep. Go deep. Like, go all the way in.
I don't know. I feel like I just always like, well, one, I always cared way too much about what people thought, which I still do. But in high school, it was like, it was bad. I wish that I honestly like never dated anyone in high school. Like, I mean, not like that, but it was like, I feel like I lost a lot of friends in high school because I was dating a boy, you know, like that whole thing. Like, if I could have like shook myself, like now I would be like, what are you doing? Like, you need to put your friends first, you know? Like, your friends are the ones that are going to be there for you. And
I can argue both.
yeah, right.
My
right.
wife's upstairs.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's different for you. But for me, like, I definitely just, I feel like I put my friends aside, which I've got my friends back, you know, like it's fine. But I feel like that's a big item there.
I'm just to kind of go off your point. Like I said, I can argue both. I actually tell my clients, I'm like, don't go into college with a relationship.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
just kind of focus on you.
Totally.
And if it's someone special, sure. Like if it's working and you guys can make it work, sure.
Right.
But don't be actively looking to lock yourself up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's kind of a chore.
It is.
It's kind of a chore. And it's such a time for you to grow and focus on who you are and learn about who you are.
Yeah. You just like limit yourself a little, I feel like.
Right. It is a little bit. So Kelsey's probably rolling her eyes right now.
Yeah, right. Hey, it worked out. It worked out for you though.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have such an amazing life.
Yeah.
I tell her all the time, like, thank you for everything. This is the best.
No, totally. Yeah.
Anyways, keep going.
Oh,
More advice to yourself.
I feel like athletics, I feel like I wouldn't really change much, to be honest. Like a lot of those things are out of my control with like the travel ball team and all that, but I feel like I worked really hard, even though, because I wasn't aware of like the training programs and, you know, like the hardcore high level travel ball teams. I wasn't necessarily aware of it. Like my parents didn't really know. So I worked hard. I was a good kid. But, so yeah, I wouldn't really change anything about that, but I don't know. I guess I would just tell myself to like, care less. Exactly. To sum it all up, care way less.
Care way less. I try to tell the kids, because I always get like the finals texts and like, oh, it's finals week and I got to get this paper in, and you see the super high stress levels from the kids. I'm like, no one is going to ask you what you got in geography class sophomore year on your final paper, whatever. Yeah. Whatever the case is, no one's going to ask you that grade. So obviously try.
Oh, totally.
I'm not telling people not to try and not to care, because there are other benefiting factors that come out of trying and working hard, but care way less.
Way less. Yeah.
Because this is, again, go back to Andy Bernard. You are in the good old days.
Totally.
Would you say the good old days was high school or college?
College for me. Yeah. I feel like I was like.
Were you a social butterfly in high school?
Yeah, I was pretty social. Yeah.
Kind of friends with everyone?
Yeah.
I can see that.
I was.
You didn't really have like a group?
I did have a group, but I was like, I feel like I outcasted myself because I had a boyfriend, and I was like, you know, like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with my boyfriend instead of hang out with my friend group.
Selfish bastard.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like definitely outcasted myself.
Did he do that or did you do that? A little bit of both?
It was a combination of both. Yeah. It was just like me being like so involved in this relationship, which is good, right? But yeah, I definitely outcasted myself. And like I didn't drink or party at all in high school, like at all. And all my friends.
Is that kind of why you were a little bit of an animal in college?
For sure. 100%.
Because I think there's something to be said about like the parents that they lock their kids down, and then once the kid, it's like never give your kid candy, and then the day that they have candy on their own, they're like, I'm gonna eat all the candy in the world.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So,
and it was not even necessarily my parents that like my parents, they didn't check my grades. Like I could come home, you know, like 1 or 2 in the morning, and they wouldn't even think twice about it. But I wasn't doing anything wrong. So like I could have been doing a lot wrong, and they wouldn't have known. But I wasn't.
They had a lot of trust.
They had a ton of trust in me. Yeah. So it wasn't even necessarily that, But yeah, so I 100% think that's what it was. Like in college, like I finally had a moment where I was like, oh my God, I'm like on my own. I'm free.
I'm just going to go nuts.
Right. Yeah. I just went crazy.
Shots on me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like for the viewers, it's not like I was like an animal. It's just
no.
Perfectly normal 22-year-old, 21, 22-year-old
Yeah, it
kid.
wasn't over the top by any means.
But it was
I
just
joke
funny.
With Jess.
It was funny.
I make you sound like you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, no.
And
I was just having fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you were just having fun. But anyways, any last words? Last piece of advice for the viewers out there? No. Zero. Classic Jess.
Yeah, nothing.
What's your drink of choice?
Ooh, lately, red wine.
Oh my God, you're 45.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I will drink red wine like as much as possible when I'm like drinking. That's like my drink of choice.
Yeah, that's
100%.
pretty much if we drink. Well, actually, this is a little trick for anyone, and this will be my parting advice. But top shelf tequila, because it's just cleaner. It's I will not even try to go into the science of it, but I went to a wedding and we had the kids, we had the babysitters, we had everything. So all I drank was top shelf tequila on ice, zero hangover.
Wow.
Because wine gives you a pretty good one. Wine will give you a pretty good hangover if you overdo it.
For sure. Yeah, which I don't anymore. So.
You don't at all?
Not really. No, I haven't. I can't tell you the last
How
time
often
I've
do you
been
drink
really
wine?
hungover. Probably like every Friday.
Okay, that's not
So
bad.
like
I was
Friday,
ready
Saturday,
for like,
maybe
4 or 5 nights a week.
Oh no, not at all. But yeah, I don't really get too hungover anymore because I don't overdo it.
Good.
It's
Yeah,
like
you're
a normal
becoming an
amount.
adult.
I'm an adult now. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean,
it's just that transition from okay, I can't do this anymore.
yeah,
Like
100%. Yeah.
I want to sleep.
Yeah.
That's like when
Yeah.
I wake up, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go to sleep again.
Yeah. And you're like, I want to actually do something with the day too. Yeah, not
100%.
just sit in bed all day.
But anyways, Jess, it was awesome having you on. It's
Yeah,
been awesome
thanks.
getting to know you, getting to train you, being part of your, we'll call it journey. I hate that word so much. The Bachelor. We watched The Bachelor together.
Oh yeah.
I don't watch it anymore.
I know, I
I
was gonna
can't.
say it.
But the word journey, they ruin the word journey.
They
for me.
do, yeah. And also, Love Is Blind. Did you watch the new season yet?
We're watching it right
All
now.
right. Yeah, we'll talk about that
We're
later.
watching. Yeah, we'll talk after. But seriously, thank you for coming on, and it's been like a pleasure just getting to know you and having you in the TNT world.
Yeah, likewise. Cool.
Sweet.
How did it go? Good?